Eminence. Go throw them knees up in the air.
9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
So can I one time? So can I one time? So can I one time? Tell me. I don't need much trying to get this started for you. For you. I just can't know you better. I just can't know you better. Baby, I just can't know you better. I just can't know you better. Tell you no more sneaking right out the back. I got a face with the deck will stack. But can I live, baby? Oh, this time I'ma be waiting for. Trying to catch me the perfect storm. Let's talk about that.
What's up, SFL Nation? And welcome back to SFL Nights with A.J.Striker. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight or whenever you decided to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. I really appreciate it, y'all. And I have my good friend here with me, Mr. Nathaniel Diggs. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Good. Big day coming up tomorrow with the free agency stuff. We went and picked the kids up from the X the other day, and I told him that I had his player, which is who my player's named after, my oldest son, and told him it was a decision day tomorrow. So he's excited about it. So I'm going to let him kind of be a part of that. So he's ready for it.
Oh, that's going to be dope. Oh, I remember that excitement. Woo. Being picked up in free agency, even just being in the draft, that's just a whole different beast, man. It's a beautiful thing. But, you know, good luck to you, Diggy. I'm sure you make the right choice for you and for your player. It's going to be interesting to see where everybody lands, though. I'm like legit ready to see where everybody's going. But got a great
I'm ready for all that.
Okay. Got a great show planned for tonight. Of course, we're going to be going over week 6 action, doing our pick'ems for week 7. And then my 4th and goal interviews will consist of a few fantastic players around the league, 2 of which have acquired new teams. I have first fullback Mr. Joel Harleman. He is, again, the fullback for the Annapolis Navigators. And then I will have Mr. Axel Raven, the co-owner of the Minnesota
Legends.
You know, I was getting ready to say Timberwolves. Wow. Okay. Minnesota Legends. And then I have Mr. Chad Rowland of the Indianapolis Ramblers. So it's going to be a great show planned for you. But Diggy, can you tell me what was our, how did we end up last week? What was our win-loss ratio?
The new totals is I've got 7 out of 16 and you're 14 out of 16. We both picked that Tacoma game wrong.
Yeah.
And I had the big 0-4, but I'll get into that when we go over the games. I don't think it was. I think they were, kind of winnable, but I'm still happy with the choices I made. There were some great games, all of them. So
Exactly. First up will be the Madison Lynx taking on the Albuquerque Adams, where Albuquerque won in a big way, 24-10. Albuquerque had 206 yards passing, 65 yards rushing for 271 yards total. Their time of possession was 22 minutes, 39 seconds with only one mistake. Madison had 145 yards passing, 123 yards rushing for 268 yards total. Their time of possession was 20 minutes, 27 seconds with 6 turnovers. Madison scored their points, 3 points in the first quarter, 7 points in the second quarter, and nothing else, where the Albuquerque Adams scored their touchdown in the third and 17 points in the fourth quarter. So, what'd you think about this game?
It was a better game than the scoreboard showed in this one. I think it was a good, evenly matched game. I like how Madison came out with some big passing plays and mixed the run in as well. Great plays by both teams defensively. Aaron's had some good interceptions in there. This game was kind of close all the way around until the fourth quarter, and both teams were, plagued by interceptions, and there were some really good ones in there. There was a play in the fourth quarter when Madison was in its own red zone, and it was a 3rd and 7. They decided to run the ball instead of pass it, and there was 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and I think that kind of blew my mind, the judgment call on that by the game to do that. And then it just seemed like there was a lot of that this week. There's quite a few games where there was some questionable calls where they should have either run it or passed it on those 3rd downs. And as soon as they did that, it was kind of the beginning of the end. And I was like, well, you got that feeling like it's all falling apart, and that's how it played out, because they ended up, punting the ball, giving the Adams great field position, and then the penalty, and the Adams run for a new set of downs. And the defense for Madison tried their best getting the ball back for them, but they, ended up not creating a turnover, but letting the Adams be forced to punt the ball one more time to give their offense another chance. And it was a great punt. It pinned the Lynx deep in their own red zone, and just the pressure from the Adams defense created that pick 6. And props to Madison's defense for trying to keep them in the game, but that offense just couldn't hold up. And it's what we've talked about almost all season with this Madison team. It's the turnovers, and that's it.
How it all worked out.
I think it was a better game than the scoreboard, because they really didn't get shut down until 8 minutes and down in the fourth quarter. So I think it was a better game than what the scoreboard pops up on there.
Gotcha. Well, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I am going to actually save all of my players' shout outs to the end of this particular segment, kind of making your own little segment. All right. So we're going to be moving on to the Lexington Miners taking on the Annapolis Navigators, where Lexington won 27-24. Lexington had 187 yards passing, 222 yards rushing, 409 yards the total offense. Their time of possession was 28 minutes with no mistakes. Whereas Annapolis had 249 yards passing, 186 yards rushing for 435 yards total. Their time of possession was 25 minutes, 58 seconds with one mistake. Annapolis scored their points, 14 points in the first, 10 points in the second, and nothing else, where Lexington scored 7 points in the first, 7 points in the second, 3 points in the fourth. 3 points in the third, 7 points in the fourth, and in overtime scored the game-winning touchdown. So, exciting game to watch. What did you think about this game, Diggy?
I thought this would be a good game, and it was. Some huge runs by both halfbacks, Pierce and Squarebush. Annapolis could have scored again before the half, but I had Seahawks Super Bowl flashbacks. It wasn't picked off, but you were 1 yard away or so. You should have just handed it off and ran it in there. And I think, that was the end of the first half, but I think that play is what cost them the game. If you look back at it, it was close. It was a close game, and both teams played well. Defensively, they were amazing. Annapolis really stepped up the pass game, and it was great to see that. They did a lot of it, and I don't want that team to be discouraged by that, by the way it turned out. But some of the bad passes weren't really, I don't think, that bad. You were playing a tough defense in Lexington. So keep it up, keep doing that. I thought Annapolis had it starting out with Squarebush's big break, but congrats to Lexington on the win in overtime. Yeah, that big break by Squarebush to start overtime. I thought they were going to get it. But Lexington fought hard and won. And like I said, it was that close to going to overtime, and it one play can make or break your game. I think that play right before the end of the first half cost Annapolis.
Indeed. Great games to watch. These rookies are putting forth a valiant effort on this field. This has been some of the most exciting rookie ball I've seen. Speaking of exciting games, our game of the week was the Lincoln Rattlesnakes taking on the San Jose Flight, where the Flight came out again victorious 24-17. Lincoln had 154 yards passing, 129 yards rushing for 283 yards total. Their time of possession was 19 minutes, 52 seconds with 3 mistakes, where San Jose Flight had 231 yards passing, 126 yards rushing for 357 yards total. Their time of possession was 22 minutes, 2 seconds, 2 mistakes. Lincoln scored 7 points in the first quarter, 10 points in the second quarter, and nothing else, where San Jose scored 14 points in the second quarter and 10 points in the third quarter. So, Biggie, how exciting was this game for you?
The beginning of it was really great. The defense and special teams play to start out by both teams was good. Logan Lee had that amazing run. I don't know how he stayed up, but he was able to do it and kicked on the boosters and scored that 90-something yard run for a touchdown. So it was good. The interceptions in this game and momentum swings were spectacular. This was one of the fun ones to watch. I really thought Lincoln's great and effective run and pass game was going to be able to keep them in this and get them the victory. But halftime came, and halftime really hurt them. And the way they played at the beginning, they could have won that. It was that close. But like I said, the little break they had, the little couple-minute break, I don't know. It was almost like they put in a whole new lineup for the second half. It just fell apart for the offense. I don't know if it was the line not holding or what, but San Jose was just ready to answer everything they threw at them in the second half, whether it was pass or run. And props to Lincoln's defense for playing tough and stopping the bleeding. I mean, they kept them in the game and kept it close and did everything they could to give Lincoln's offense every possible chance to come back and win the game. They just can't get it rolling. But it was a good game too. So this whole week was a really great week.
I agree. Definitely. Last game was Tacoma Grizzlies taking on the Ottawa Cavalry, where Ottawa won 30-23. Ottawa had 273 yards passing, 101 yards rushing for 374 yards total. The time of possession was 24 minutes, 58 seconds with 2 mistakes. Tacoma had 286 yards passing, 102 yards rushing for 388 yards total. Their time of possession was 18 minutes, 2 seconds, 1 mistake. Tacoma scored 13 points in the second quarter, 10 points in the fourth quarter, nothing else, where Ottawa scored 7 points in the first quarter, 6 points in the second quarter, 7 points in the third quarter, and 10 points in the fourth quarter. So, how'd you like this game, Diggy?
This was a game when I had to pick a winner last week. I really did. It could have gone either way. I picked Tacoma, but I also said what Ottawa needed to do to win, and I said Ottawa needed to do something they hadn't done since week 1 to win this game, and that was score 20 points or more, and they did it. I've been on Ottawa's side all last season saying, hey, they can turn it around, and I was high on them at the beginning of this season. I remember I said something about when they won their first 2 games, I said, hey, they're doing it. And I said before I made my pick, that I don't think they've fallen off, and they've proven they haven't. But I didn't think they would be able to hold off Tacoma after that huge game they had last week, airing it out. But this one was a great game as well. Like I said, all the games this week were. Ottawa's defense just played top notch, and the run and pass mix was excellent. everyone played like they needed to pull the win out.
Indeed. It's that 50-50 chance, man. So in any case, congratulations to everybody that won, to everybody that lost. Again, back to the drawing board. And remember, this is all about having fun. It's about making your progressions and getting your player up to the major league standards. So,
before we do the pick'em for the next week, I wanted to bring a couple things up, and one of them was, San Jose is on a roll. They're, undefeated still. There's 2 weeks left of football, and they have a chance to make SFLm history, by having the best SFLm record right now. Madison Lynx, are holding that record with the 9-1. Thank you. Season 1, the Lynx had the 7-3, and season 2, the Adams were 8-2, and then Adams won again in season 3, 8-1, and the Lynx finally took that. So if San Jose loses one game, they can still tie it, but they still have a chance to make that name for themselves. And the second thing was, and it's huge, I wanted to discuss it, is being in the SFLm championship a curse? Have you thought about that? All right, because
No.
Look.
Next up, we have players of the game. So I'm going to be naming all of the top scoring plays of the game right here.
All right, so for the Madison Lynx, I have Mr. Charlie Baker, wide receiver. 5 receptions, 31 reception yards, 1 reception touchdown, and 9 reception yards. I also have shout-outs going to Marcus Duncan, running back. 26 carries, 126 yards, 36 long. On the defensive side of the ball, shout-outs include Young Volt with 6 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 interception for 14 yards. And shout-out to Matthew Olivara, linebacker. 9 tackles, 4 assists, 1 pass deflection. For the Albuquerque Adams, shout out goes out to quarterback Trellis Blankton. 19 completions out of 25 attempts, 76 yards, 206 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, and that was 76 completion percentage on that. Shout out also goes out to Blue Scott, running back for the Albuquerque Adams, with 27 carries, 70 yards, 1 touchdown, and 10 long. Shout out also goes out to T.T. Crystal, wide receiver, 5 receptions, 108 yards, 1 reception touchdown, 71 long. On the defensive side of the ball, shout out includes Jax Nuke, free safety, 7 tackles, 1 assist, 2 interceptions for 21 yards, 13 long. And cornerback Liam Ryan, 3 tackles, 2 assists, 4 interceptions for 4 yards, and even having a pick 6. So, congratulations to you guys on that. And for the Lexington Miners, shout out goes out to wide receiver Zachary Patton with his 1 reception for 10 yards and even having a touchdown off that. Congratulations. And then we have Christian Pierce, running back, with 28 carries, 220 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 71 long. On the defensive side of the ball, shout out goes out to Isabella Blackwell, strong safety, 14 tackles, 4 assists. Also, shout out goes out to Travis Arthur, free safety with 6 tackles, 2 assists, 1 pass deflection, 1 interception, and for 11 yards. Also, shout out goes out to Sean Parent and Forrest Dalton for their sacks on the play. Annapolis Navigators, shout out goes out to Randy Squarebush, of course, running back with 22 carries, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns with 46 long. Also, shout out goes to Rajo De Niro about that money. Rajo De Niro about that money. Wide receiver. He had 6 receptions for 112 yards, 1 touchdown, and 73 long. On the Annapolis defensive side of the ball, shout out goes out to Jerry D. Gone, free safety, for 12 tackles, 3 assists. Also, shout out to Dale McLean for his strong safety, 14 tackles, 3 assists, 1 pass deflection, 1 tackle. Also, shout out to Roscoe Rossi, defensive end, with 3 tackles, 2 assists, 2 sacks, 2 sacks, 1 half sack, 4 tackles for loss as well. And for the Lincoln Rattlesnakes, shout out goes out to running back Logan Lee, 21 carries, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns, 92 long. Also, shout out to quarterback Kenny Slider with 21 completions out of 39 attempts, 154 yards. On the defensive side of the ball, gonna give shout outs to Luke Swift, strong safety, 4 tackles, 1 assist, 1 interception for 7 yards. Also, Frankie Lynn Cluster, cornerback, 1 tackle, 1 pass deflection, 1 interception, 27 yards as well. And shout out goes out to Demarius Farmer, defensive end, and Kratos Maximus, defensive end, for their sacks on the ball, sacks on the quarterback. Now, San Jose Flight, shout out goes out to quarterback Jordan Sipe, 24 completions out of 39 attempts, 231 yards, 1 touchdown. Also, shout out goes out to wide receiver Jay Viper with his 11 receptions for 116 yards. Also, shout out goes out to, for his 11 receptions, 116 yards, and 22 long. Also, big shout out goes out to J.Z. Bacon, running back, with 20 carries for 107 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he even had 3 receptions for 20 yards and even a touchdown off that. So congratulations. On the defensive side of the ball, shout out goes out to free safety Sam Blotner. I hope I said that right. 6 tackles, 2 assists, 2 interceptions for 19 yards. And Bryant James, strong safety, 11 tackles, 1 assist, 1 pass deflection. And for the Tacoma Grizzlies, big shout out goes out to running back J.B. Elliott with his 12 carries, 102 yards, 1 touchdown, 72 long. And Shane Kaufman, wide receiver, 8 receptions, 115 yards, 36 long. On the defensive side of the ball, shout out goes out to Jeff Spicoli, free safety, 3 tackles, 1 interception for 8 yards. And if I messed up your name, I really do appreciate that. Please let me know the correct pronunciation of your name. And Remington James, free safety, with 6 tackles, 3 assists, 1 interception for 4 yards, as well as Mr. Chad McDivitt, linebacker, with 10 tackles, 4 assists, 1 tackle for loss. Meanwhile, the Ottawa Cavalry. For the Ottawa Cavalry, I have Mr. Cyrus Jive, quarterback, 33 completions out of 40 attempts, completion percentage, 82%. 82.50 completion percentage for 273 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. All right. Also, shout out goes out to Dwayne Simmons for running back. Also, shout out goes out to running back Dwayne Simmons for his 20 carries, 89 yards, and 1 touchdown. On the defensive side of the ball, shout out goes out to Amir Bryant, cornerback, with his 1 tackle, 2 pass deflections, an interception. Also, shout out goes out to T.J. Frosty, free safety, with 7 tackles, 1 assist. Terrence Pearson, cornerback, 9 tackles, 2 assists, and 1 pass deflection. Congratulations to all of you, and continue to make an impact.
All right, on June the 10th, we will have our Week 7 games going on, with the Albuquerque Adams will be taking on the Lincoln Rattlesnakes. It's going to be a good game to watch. I like what the Adams are doing. I think that they found that drive, that magic that they would typically have in the coaching realm to be able to take these players to the next level. I think they have been so far, and I think they're going to continue. So I think the Adams are going to win.
All right. Before I make my pick, just for the regular season, I need to win out. And if you win 2 predictions, you win the whole thing. Because I don't know if we're counting playoffs or not. So, I mean, there's still a chance with playoffs, but it's starting to cut it close here.
Okay.
So
for you, I will do playoffs. It's fine. We can do a championship too. And the championship, how about double or nothing?
I say playoffs is its own thing.
Okay.
The regular season prediction, playoff prediction. I think we'll do it that way.
Okay.
But
I'm just trying to help you out.
For this game, Adams versus Lincoln, I think it's going to be a very evenly matched game here. It's either team's game to win, but I think I'm going to go with the Adams, who are on a 3-game win streak, and I think they'll roll into it and squeeze out a win.
Okay, gotcha.
Who'd you pick again?
Say it again?
Who'd you pick?
I picked the Adams.
Okay.
All right, Annapolis Navigators will be taking on the Tacoma Grizzlies. Ooh, both high-powered offenses. I think that this is going to be a very high-scoring game. It's going to be Tacoma's receivers versus Randy Squarebush and company. It just depends on if Tacoma's defense is going to be ready to stop Randy. It's going to be a good game. But I think Tacoma is going to win this game. I actually think they're going to be able to stop Randy. Unless Annapolis comes out the gate with a whole nother game plan, I think that's the way it's going to work out.
So you're going
Tacoma.
Tacoma, okay. Both teams have been playing well, and another great game here, but I think Tacoma breaks their 2-game losing streak and gets the win. But they need to be careful because Annapolis is working a great run-pass mix from last week. And if they can be a little bit more effective with it, with the passing, I think they could take this one away. But I'm gonna pick Tacoma over Annapolis. Like I said, if they're effective in that pass game and they're mixing it up pretty good, like last week, I think they can pull it out. But
okay, gotcha. And the Lexington Miners taking on the Madison Lynx. The game.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to give Lexington the edge on this one because I think Madison is very close, to where they need to be. Whether they're going to be able to capitalize off the mistakes from Lexington may make, I'm not sure, but I just have a strong gut feeling that Lexington is going to win this probably by either a touchdown, no more than a touchdown.
Okay. My heart wants to pull for Madison here, and I have to.
Do
I'm
it.
going for Madison. It's a championship rematch, and this is a must-win. If you need to win any game this season, they have to win this one at least. If it's the only game they win this season, they have to win this one. So I'm picking Madison this week for that reason only. The defense is good. It's keeping them in the games, but they have to protect the football. Again, it's on repeat. We're protect the football, quit the turnovers, stop the fumbles, and you got to win.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And finally, we have the San Jose Flights taking on the Ottawa Cavalry. It's very hard for me to go against the Flight because of what they've been doing on both sides of the ball. I mean, I definitely think Ottawa could, any given sim day, you could lose, definitely. But I just think that San Jose is just really hot right now. And I just don't know if Ottawa has exactly what it takes to taper that fire. So I think I'm going to go with the Flight on this.
Okay. After last week, the game I'm most excited to see is this game. And I like what the San Jose Flight have been doing. Yeah. But I think, yet again, there's a team that can put this team down. And with there only being 2 weeks left, the best team to do that is, I think it's going to be Ottawa. Ottawa's got a good defense. San Jose airs it out quite a bit. And I think they can make it happen. So I'm going to go Ottawa over San Jose. And another reason I'm going to pick Ottawa is because I want somebody to knock one little mark on that loss bracket. So nobody beats Madison for that SFLm record, and at least just ties them. So I got to keep some kind of record.
All right. Well, we're going to definitely see how that shakes out. And stay tuned for my 4th and Goal interviews coming right up. What's up, SFL Nation? Welcome back to my 4th and Goal interview. Tonight's guest is Mr. Joel Harleman. He is the fullback for the Annapolis Navigators, rookie class member, season 19. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing tonight?
Doing wonderful. It is night, right? Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
You did.
Okay, because I know Christian has been getting on my case about making sure I pronounce things correctly. And I didn't want to get a DM from him later, so I just want to make sure.
Oh, yeah.
But welcome to the show. Glad to have you.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Indeed. So let's get to know you. Let's a little bit of information about you. So your age, if you don't mind, your hometown, interesting fact about yourself, and your favorite NFL team.
I'm 47 years old. I live in Speedway, Indiana. I'm about 4 blocks from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Favorite NFL team is the Colts, being from Indiana. And my interesting fact about me is that I drive race cars in my spare time.
Phenomenal. Oh man, so we had a whole discussion about that, KJ and I, and whether car racing itself, is that a sport? And he let me know clearly, yes, all of the stress that we have to go through, our heart rates going up. And I was like, this is something I never really considered, before. So tell us about your racing career a little bit. But tell us, how did you find, you said Christian actually brought you into the league.
Yeah.
So what was that point that made you say, you know what, I'm going to join? This is something that I really want to do.
Well, it was talking to Christian and finding out, the more I found out about it, the more intriguing it was, because it wasn't your normal fantasy thing where you're basically worrying about somebody else for your own statistics. It's you build your own player, and your player builds your statistics based on the decisions you make on it. So that was what became interesting for me, was sort of the challenge of building the player to be what it needed to be over time, and just seeing where all that went.
Indeed. Now, are you taking the advice from your coaches in Annapolis?
Yeah, the coaches have been helpful. I mean, there's been a few weeks where it's like I watch you watch the game and you watch what they're using your player for, and then you can kind of tell where they want you to go with your progressions. It's like if they're using you in certain areas, then you might as well build your strengths in that area. And then if you can build secondary strengths, then that's always good too. But it's like being a fullback. It's like you're with our offense centering around the running back, then you want to have run blocking. You need run blocking and stamina and those sort of progressions rather than catches and speed and stuff like that. And it's like those can come secondary, and you can work on those after you've built up the main attributes that they're using you for.
Exactly. And by you being a fullback, a lot of times you're utilized to create lanes for running backs. However, you can't build your player in such a way to be very effective, kind of like your T-Roy games, where he was top running back, and then when things changed over to legend settings, he had to go into fullback, but still very, very effective. So you're right. It is in how you progress, and I'm glad that you're on the right path with that. Speaking of progressions, have you missed any?
I have not missed any yet.
Okay.
Christian gets on me every week, but knowing that is something you have to do every week, it's like I try to do it as soon as it opens up after the previous game's over. It's like you might as well just even if I haven't talked to the coaches yet, it's like at least get something in there so you don't miss it. You can always go back and change it, but you don't want to miss it.
Exactly. My thing is just go ahead and set it and forget it. You have things going on in your life, and that one little minor detail can probably cost you an animation down the line. So it's important. But tell me, Joel, do you want to participate in the league in any other aspect besides being a player? So joining the broadcast team or stats team, anything like that?
I haven't really looked at all the other opportunities yet, but it wouldn't be fair to say that none of those would be out of the realm. I mean, being a stat person or being on a broadcast or moving into coaching at some point, all of it could be interesting in its own way. Indeed.
Definitely. And my thing is getting the value for the dollar that you're spending. So if you are playing to be a player, why not take advantage of all the opportunities that you can do? Like I've been a broadcaster, I've been on the stats team, I've done social media, I've done multimedia, I've done a whole lot because I wanted my dollar to count, So yeah. It's good, especially if you have time to. It does increase your draft stock too when they see that you are involved in the league in different aspects too. Tell me, Joel, what is something, or what are you expecting from the team that will eventually draft? What are some expectations that you want the front office to be like, or the locker room to be like?
You want them to draft you, to use you for in the games as much as possible. I mean, that would be sort of every player's hope is to get in the game as much as possible. I mean, but I also hope that there's some that they can see some other opportunities, like you said, getting into broadcasting or the stats or any of that stuff. It's like I like to have more opportunities than just sitting there doing your progression once a week and then watching the game. It's to be more involved will make it more fun for me.
Definitely noted. But Joel, what type of personality will you be bringing into someone's locker?
Oh, I try to always be upbeat. I like to have fun, joking around with people. I want to be a positive influence in whatever team that I'm in.
That is important. That is important, especially when you're, go through the adversities that sometimes you can face being on the team, especially if your season is not going the way that you originally envisioned it, and so it's important on how you handle that. Speaking of which, how do you handle adversity and hard times?
Well, you have to learn from it and figure out how to make it better. That's the only way you can go about it. I mean, getting down on yourself about it isn't gonna help anything. You just have to figure out what the problem is and figure out the solution to it. Pointing fingers at other people isn't gonna do you a whole lot of good.
It's not, especially if you don't have a solution. If you're going to present the problem,
yeah.
At least have that.
Yeah, if you're bringing the problem, you better at least have it might not be the perfect solution, but you better have at least a suggestion, right?
Exactly. So a couple more questions for you. What are your thoughts about the Annapolis Navigators season thus far?
It's been kind of up and down so far. It's when the offense is clicking, we seem to score a lot of points, and when we're not, it seems to sort of bounce back and forth. It's like when the offense is on, the defense is on, and when the offense is having problems, the defense seems to be this kind of the same way. It's like you'd hope that when one was up, the other was down. If one was down, the other was up, so that you'd get that balance. But the balance seems to be getting better. The offense in the last game was good in the first half and kind of slowed down a little bit in the second half, and the defense sort of picked up in the second half and was making stops. So I'm hoping to see the record go positive. I think we're 3-3 currently, but that's better than losing all of them.
You're right about that. So what do you think? Do you think it's because people are expecting the run game as to why Annapolis is where they are? They know you have Randy Scribblish. He is the top running back. So we know he's getting the ball. How do you think that's the reason ultimately?
A little bit. I mean, I know when you know that that's where the ball's going, you can game plan for it. I mean, I haven't delved a whole lot into how the coaching and game planning goes, so if in the perfect world you might use him as a decoy a little more and use a decoy and get the ball to your tight ends or your wide receivers a little more, knowing that the defense is planning for that running game. Or you get some guys working on progressions and work on run blocking and just keep pounding the ball, because eventually you'll wear the defense out on the other side too if you just keep running.
Indeed. So, what is your message to the teams? Because the draft is coming up very soon. What is your message to teams that are looking to draft a fullback or perhaps a running back? What do you want them to ultimately know about Joe and why you should be on their team?
I want them to know that I'm a team player, and I want, no matter what my role becomes, I want it to be for the betterment of the team. No matter what, you just have to pick up whatever you can and make yourself better. And I want my player to become the best fullback that it can be. And if I progress into a running back, I want him to be the stud running back of the league when it gets there.
Okay, nice. Tacoma Grizzlies, your next opponent coming up. What are your thoughts on this game?
I haven't studied them a whole lot, but I would hope that we can just keep running the ball and that the defense shores up a little bit and that it's not the nail biter that the last game became.
Okay, gotcha. Well, Joel, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you coming out and hanging out with me. I'm looking forward to having you back on again sometime soon whenever you want to. Perhaps after the draft, once you find yourself on someone's team, you can tell us about that experience and things like that. Love to have you back on.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the interview tonight, and I hope that I get drafted and that we get to talk again real soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But before I let you go, Joel, this is customary. I have to give you the last word, so that can be a song. You can sing a song, or you can recite a poem, or you can just give a simple shout out. But right now, Joel, the floor is yours.
Give a shout out to Christian Alexio that got me into the league, and could always leave you with my racing catchphrase, which is go fast, don't screw up.
I like it. See you real soon, Joe, and good luck to you.
Good luck. Thank you.
All right. Welcome back to my Fourth and Goal interview. And I have my good friend here with me, Mr. Axel Raven. He is co-owner of the Minnesota Legends. How are you doing?
I'm good. Tonight was just the FA free agency show. It was a lot of excitement for like 3 or 4 hours there. Just had another meeting I went to and back. It's 9 something at night for me. I'm excited though. There's so much energy. It's heading into today. It was like a dam with energy. Like there's so much energy, I think, not just for me or whatever, but for everybody in the community, just sort of needing that purge to finally like bust those the dam gates open.
Right.
And I mean DAM as in like the literal, holding back water dam gates.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah. I don't swear that often, so.
Hey, listen, if you decided to, you deserve it. This is a moment, a time to shine where when you finally get something that you worked so hard for, you put a lot of effort into, a lot of creativity into, and you finally get what you want. It's a gratifying feeling, so you deserve it. You deserve to feel the way you do. But give us that moment. Take us back to when Cam called you and let you know that you actually had your team.
Yeah, so it was. We knew, like BJ and I, we knew that it was just sort of like a waiting game. Like, okay, at some point Cam's gonna reach out, do something, and then all of a sudden we got the DM. Hey, like Cam just saying, hey, are you guys free? In a little bit for a call. Like, oh, what does this mean? But it could be good. You don't want to get your hopes up. You're sort of like, pushing it down. Like, he's just wanting to check in about our proposals or something like that, right? And we called him up. We were on, just a Discord voice chat or voice call. And he's like, before, I'm not going to beat around the bush. You guys got it. And we're just like, sort of like a weird stunned silence for just a little bit, and then hooting and hollering. You know what I mean? It was just like, is this really real? So it was excited, and to have a partner to go through this with BJ, it was just I could not imagine doing this solo. It's great.
Definitely. I mean, I would imagine, well, it is, especially looking at owners that do it by themselves, it is a large task to take on that responsibility. Because what happens if one of you gets sick, or what happens if you get sick and you have no one to kind of hold the reins for you to take over? So I think it is beneficial to have somebody that you trust, that shares your same goals in mind. And when I had you and BJ on the show for the expansion team hopefuls, I noticed the chemistry that you guys had. And I know what both of you bring as individuals, because I've dealt with you off the field and watch what you do on the field. And it is an interesting pairing between you two. And I think it's going to work well. I don't think you guys are going to have any issues.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's sort of a yin and yang kind of thing. And it's not like to say that we're opposites, but for the most part, we jive. It's like a Venn diagram. We have a lot that's overlapping, but where one of us is lacking a little bit, the other one is there to pick the other person up, kind of thing. And it just works so well together. And that's the free agency is evidence of that. I think both the people that we've gotten to join the team now, not just on the field, but they're legitimate, really solid people coming in. Each and every single one of them, has something unique to bring to the team to make us, that quilt. Each person gets a little patch, and it makes a patchwork that is a team. So.
It's funny. I want you to talk about who you brought on. I mean, today's the day, so you can mention it and it won't be pointed. So.
Exactly. Yeah. So we if you're ready, I can start naming off some of the people. Sure. So we have 17 people, which for us as an expansion team to be starting off with 17 people, is to me, it sort of dumbfounds me that we were able to get 17 people to say, I'm bought into the vision that you and BJ have, and where we're going, and which is great. So to start off, we've got our quarterback, Johnny Reno, really solid. I played with him at Tacoma. So we're SFLm buddies. Since then, we just formed a good relationship. I've always been a supporter of him, helping, support him through his draft experience last season, and just being there for each other and getting to know each other has been great. And it worked out really well. He's really, engaged in it. Colin Hart, another person, trying to find another sort of a resurgence of like a Colin Hart 2.0. He was really great before Legend settings, and it's just been trying to find that edge. And I think we're going to be able to be the ones that bring that next iteration of Colin Hart to life. Great person coming in. Knew him from Sioux Falls a little bit here and there, and then just seeing him in Louisiana as well, and just knowing what he can bring on the field and the type of person he is, how he can contribute off the field as well. We have Buchanan Simons, a longtime CHS player, as well as his counterpart, Jay Taylor. Jack Brown, I hope he's not mad that we're taking a handful of his players, but the two of them are really good. Getting to know Jay Taylor. Getting to know Jay Taylor as well, finding out that he's in Nashville as a studio musician, plays guitar and things, just understanding who he is. Great person. And so excited to get to know him better and to have him contribute to our locker room family. Buchanan, so a younger person, but with the league for a long time, comes in, has so much excitement coming in, a huge hype person, and is just itching to build relationships with other people, and I think that's really what they're looking for too, is just to spread their wings a little bit further, not necessarily on the field. We want to be able to get them, their stats. Everybody wants to be able to get their players' stats, increasing year over year, season after season, but spreading their wings with a new group of people and a new atmosphere. Again, not to say that any other place that these people are coming from was bad in any way, but just this amalgamation or this culture, this melting pot, that's the team. We have Adam Banks. Starting off, I knew him. His brother is Daniel Wright, who is also joining our team. So the two of them, I knew Adam when he first joined through his brother, through his Daniel, and getting to know Adam since he joined in January, helping, just helping to shepherd him through and, helping to make that decision of, does he stay in the minors? Does he go and take a spot in Louisiana? He took the spot in Louisiana, trying to make a statement and trying to get out there. We want to be able to get him moving. He's a very tall receiver out there, big target for Reno to throw to. And speaking of big targets, we've got Jason France as our GM, but also as our big gold tight end out there, wanting to see big things from him, both in receiving and blocking for Colin Hart. And then we have the triad. I just mentioned it in Eddie's show. We've got Mike Mello, we've got Max Knight, and BJ Loveless, the three of them back together from Arizona Heritage underneath Eddie and playing with you 3 or 4 seasons ago. So it's again rekindling like a brotherhood between them, and that energy is just rippling out to the team as well. Then we've got Buster Johnson, who is also good friends. I believe they even work together with Juan, Mississippi. So the two of them, we were initially looking at Juan, and Juan's like, "Hey, do you think Buster would be a spot? We needed a DT." So we're like, let's make that connection. So again, taking a pair of people that are real life friends coming together on the team. And then we've got Angela Meerkat, who's the wife of Derek Meerkat. So again, that family attitude, they're in North Mankato in Minnesota. So an hour and a half or so drive for me. We were planning on getting together in December. A snowstorm hit, weren't able to do it. But it's just a matter of time before, some physical meetups start happening. And then we have myself at outside linebacker, and then we've got Johnny Bravo. So CHS, we brought him in really early. He helped make that connection with Buchanan Simons and Jay Taylor as well, knowing the history with them. Again, Johnny's been really great, just getting to know him both on as an SFL player, but also on a personal level. The changes that he's gone through more recently, and just trying to find a spot that really edifies him and makes him feel at home is really great. And just understanding, the nuance and humanity behind all these players. And then I think the only other player I'm missing right now is Cody Griffin, who I played with. Myself, Daniel, and Reno all played with on Tacoma as well before he was drafted, and BJ played with him on QCC. So everybody's just sort of got like this web of our fingers going out to them, and it's just sort of like a family reunion with people that we sort of know, oh, this is a family long lost cousin I didn't know, but somebody else knew, brought him along, and it's just sort of like a super welcoming team. So.
Oh, absolutely. And it is amazing the different stories that the storylines. Somebody else drive.
Stop driving, person.
I don't understand why they want to start driving when they know I'm out here doing this.
Right.
I try to make it so I don't bother anybody, but they just want to keep, okay. Anyway, so it was, you guys got a great pickup. Anytime an expansion team, in my opinion, can pick up any more than 10 people, I think you're doing fantastic. Mm-hmm. So that means most of your roster is already set. You just need to find those. If you don't find any more free agents as of right now, if anyone doesn't sign with you, all you have to do is focus on the rookies now. And of course, minor sights and insights. You got the insight on everybody, so
we got our fingers in there. Yeah. We've been
exactly.
and purposefully not wanting to like give ourselves too much of a specific edge because of that. But ultimately, I've been able to interview a variety of people on the show, and Jason stepping in as GM, wanting to learn the skill, the role. It's not, and BJ having that experience, they're putting together the board. I'm adding some nuance of things that I might have heard from their, getting to know them. But really, they're the ones that are leading all of that.
No, but I think it's amazing though. Like even the family dynamic that you're bringing, from the husband and wives to everybody. Even when you said, the three amigos that came over from Arizona, while of course, when you build a rapport with somebody and they leave you and they go somewhere else, you do feel that sense of loss, because it is like your family member that was once a part of your locker room, that was once, you were talking to them. Now you probably won't be talking to them as much anymore, things like that. So there is that aspect of the situation. But to me, I would rather you be happy, and to know that they have that energy, that fire, that spark back,
Yeah.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
And that's for anybody, not just for my guys that leave, but
yeah,
for anybody that leaves. As long as you go somewhere that you're going to be happy, go somewhere that you're going to make that difference that you feel that you can make, man. Do your thing.
Yeah.
As long as
and that's I have that same, there are a handful of people that I've reached out to that have said that they've already got homes for. One of them was King Rashid. Obviously, knowing that he was going to be stepping away from Tulsa, he's a great pickup, right? He's a great player out there, a great culture person. I reached out, hey, you already got a spot? He said, yep. I'm like, great. I am super glad that you have a spot that you're excited about. I'm not trying to steal people away, and things like that. So, just celebrating the fact that they are excited about going to a place that makes me feel really good. So wherever that is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So Canton Classics, KJ, Alexio. Make sure I say it right, because he will be Alexio. Okay. And he had a lot to say about us being habitual line steppers, things like that. So I was wondering if you had any words of encouragement for him.
He's a great guy. I'd like to have a little fun, and I think they're building a great team over in Canton. I think they did a great job in picking Mike All, who has his fingers everywhere. I think that was one of the smartest decisions that they've made. I think that's showing, that's evidence in what they've been able to start to build. I'm excited to see what they can do, both on the field and what their year over year, season over season looks like. I hope the best things for them. I don't know.
I know you're the diplomatic type. And I know this. That like you talk trash in a different way. So it's and I love it. I love the different camaraderie. See, and I was telling him, everybody is different. Everybody is, handles that different. Like, we can go all day, I can tell you, but you're more reserved, So yeah. I find it interesting. But you also have another rival that was revealed. Yep. You revealed on the show, Chad. So I'm wondering. So what are you doing? You just pissing off everybody, aren't you?
As much as we can. I think it's just trying to find a way to have fun with the games. I think that's what makes these games so much better, is when you have a little bit of a stake involved, versus that it's not just a win or a loss, but it's a win or a loss against that team. And as much respect that I have for Chad and Adam and the league the team that they're building, I have more animosity towards them. No, I'm kidding. No, No, it should be a lot of fun. And yeah, I don't know. It's like, oh, I've got my players, he's got his players. We're gonna get our players on the field, and they're gonna do things, and we're gonna walk away and have fun in between. Whether there's a L or a W next to that. So I don't know. I'm excited about it. You know, I would love to be able to take that win from them, and you know, as is with the other two division rivals in our division, you know, Sioux Falls and Tulsa. You know, as much respect as I have for everybody involved, you know, we want to win, and that's really what we're trying to do. And I think we're going to be able to be very competitive right out of the gate, and push some teams over and score big on some teams. And that's our plan. That's what we're going to try to do, and let our game speak for itself. So,
you know, Tulsa gonna be bad. They gonna have extra.
Yeah, we understand.
They gonna have
that.
extra
I mean,
spice on that ball for you, boy. It's gonna be-
I like things spicy, so bring it at me, Dion. Either give me some Tabasco or some Carolina Reapers or something. Give me the heat.
Scorpion peppers, those are the hottest.
Oh, I haven't had those yet.
Oh, you will. Oh, I hope you will. So now that you're an owner, is there anything that you have come across that you wasn't really expecting, that you're dealing with right now? Maybe you've overcome it. Maybe it is something you got to work on that you're finding out.
No real difficulties. You know, we've been putting in the work. You know, day in, day out. You know, a handful of hours every single day. BJ, myself, Jason, and the other players that we have that have been, you know, we've been having like Derek Meerkat. We promoted to Director of Communications alongside Johnny Reno as Assistant DOC. He's been putting in the work the last as the announcements when our team was announcing. He's been doing the work, you know, sight unseen for the last few weeks. So shout out to him. Daniel's been there to help us. Johnny Bravo. So we've already been getting the team working together, and so it's no real like difficult spots so far. Things that I'm learning, things that I didn't really, that I'm adjusting to, I guess you could say, is, you know, the owners chat in Discord is a little tumultuous at times. You know, you've got these lots of hot-headed people who are not afraid to share their opinions. Again, like you said, I fall into the mediator category, or more of a reserved observer kind of thing, and so it's difficult for me to sort of just sit there and watch. You know, there are some things that get me triggered. I'm just like, but I'm just going to leave it. I can't, you know, I don't have the rapport with them yet to banter back and forth in that way. And, you know, I feel like I've added a couple things here or there, trying to add and help out, you know, the teams. I've put together some illustrations for what some of the equipment look like. So the shoes and the gloves, you know, I posted that in there if anybody wants to use them with their free agents or draft picks when they're coming in. You're trying to, you know, provide things, whatever we create to, you know, help the league, and then other teams, you know, sharing it across that to get better. Earlier tonight, just before our conversation here, I've been trying to, so Minnesota, you know, it did have the Minneapolis team, but, you know, that's been a number of years since the Minneapolis Maulers have been around. And so having a Minnesota team, we don't have a lot of local, you know, viewership or fans necessarily, or I'm not sure. But, you know, starting off with a brand new team in a brand new location, you don't know what you don't have. You know, I want to be able to build up some of that. So I recently, I reached out to a regional brewery, had a meeting with them beforehand to see about a partnership, so that we can sort of cross-pollinate. That they'd be, you know, sharing and doing some airings and stuff in the metro area for our team to try to get some visibility and ultimately increase our regional reach. And again, we haven't even played a game yet, and I'm trying to shake those trees. And I'm, you know, obviously once we get some games, so we've got like game footage and you know, scores and things, it's going to be a little bit easier. But really trying to get out there and have that regional appeal, right? Getting people that I live near, you know, knowing that that SFL even exists, and knowing that there's a Minnesota team they can start rooting for. You know, shaking the trees with some Minnesota, the Twin Cities area has like K-Fan and other sports, WCTO sports and other things that cover sports. And I'm like, hey, I want to reach out to them and say there's a brand new Minnesota sports team in the area. Let's start, would you guys want to, I'd love to have an interview with you guys on your radio show about that, or other local podcasts around sports, esports and things. So really trying to get our name out there is really, where we're starting off. And that's an area that I am both not really experienced in, and I'm learning a lot on the fly as I'm trying to do it, but with the best of intentions, and so far it's been really fruitful. It's been nice to be able to get out into the community and letting people know who we are.
I'm wondering, and I know that it's getting kind of late, so I'm not going to hold you too long, but I'm wondering that when you're trying to establish sponsorships and things of that nature, and you don't live in the same city, how do you pitch that? Or is there a specific pitch that you can do to make it, do you make it seem like you're from that city, or do you tell them, just be honest with them and like, hey, I'm not, I represent this team, but even though, like for me, with my circumstance.
Yeah. What I would do, ultimately the Arizona is centered in Arizona. Like, you guys have a stadium, a digital stadium. I mentioned to the people I talked about, we have a digital stadium based in St. Paul. There's naming rights. We could have you guys be like, yep, this is the company, named the stadium, right? And even if I was somewhere else, and Cam has a really nice marketing deck that he could share. He shared it with me that gives some good. That has a lot of information about how the person that I talked to was really fascinated that there's representation. I think it said 12 different countries that our players come from across the world, and that we have teams, North America and in London, you know what I mean? And so it's like, it is very broad, and no matter where you are located, like geography is no longer a boundary to say, oh, you have to show up in Arizona or in order to be a player on Arizona. So inclusive that you could be Jacob Clear in Australia and be a owner and player and head coach for a Charleston, South Carolina team. That boundary, the league breaks boundaries and is inclusive, no matter the geography, no matter your gender, no matter your abilities, no matter what. And that's what I think is a huge selling point for the league and for teams. And you're, looking at, Arizona, if you want to build something, start with Arizona, right? You've got the name right there. So.
Okay, because I was also advised to look at national brands as well, because there's a lot more eyes on those particular products. So I guess it's about maybe trying a little bit of both and see what works for you, and whatever the outcome is. Because ultimately, I would love to be able to get a sponsorship for Arizona. And I have been trying diligently. I just haven't found anything yet. And I'm not going to stop, but it is, I just want to go ahead and get it done, so we can have that. So, but thanks for the advice. I really appreciate it. And, it's funny that you're providing all of the graphics, or you're providing little things for the owners now, because when you first started in the league, that's what you were doing. You helped me a few times with some graphics. So
that's what I do during the day.
Right. And that's always been your MO, to help people. So, that's the real reason, one of the real reasons why people want to come and help you over there, you and BJ, because of the impact that you guys have made on and off the field with people. So I'm glad that you got your team. I'm glad that it worked out for you, and things are looking up for you. I don't wish any bad luck or bad seasons on any team. So I hope y'all do well. And did you have anything else you wanted to add? Anything else you wanted to say? Maybe to future rookies looking to join Minnesota Legends?
We've had, if you're interested, I'm not sure if we've posted in the player openings, but we've got we're looking for some defensive backs. For our nickel and dime backs, we're looking for kicker. We're looking for offensive linemen. And that is, I think, about it. Those are our needs right now. So if you fit any of those, if you want to be part of a family league, or I'm sorry, team that we play together. We also have fun together in between games and things. That's who Minnesota is.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Axel, for hanging out with me. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.
Come back whenever you want.
Will do.
All right, dude. Have a good one.
Thanks.
What's up, SFL Nation? We are back with my 4th and goal interview with new expansion team owner, Mr. Chad Rowland of the Indianapolis Ramblers. How are you doing, sir?
I am good, Ashley. Just happy to be here. Excited. It's actually free agency day, so pretty pumped up. How about yourself?
Hey, doing fantastic, and it is free agency day. I am super excited to add the pieces that we needed to our locker room as well. And it's interesting to see when the dust settles where everybody's gonna go. Even for you guys with the new expansion teams, I'm wondering how many free agents are you gonna get? How many of you guys are actually gonna have to utilize, what's gonna be the percentage of free agents versus rookies on your teams? That's just gonna be.
We could talk about all that.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, how do you feel about that? Do you have a good amount of free agencies that's gonna be joining you?
Yeah. So my goal when me and Adam first started this dream, the goal that I had was I said I want at the most 8 draft picks. Right. Okay. One of the most of 8 because it'd be a good amount of veterans, but also a good amount of rookies in the draft. I wanted to get some key people at key positions, and so we were able to obtain the number. So tonight, which I don't know when this airs, but tonight we are on Monday night. We're going to be doing the Ramblers free agency show, and we are going to be announcing 14 free agents. One of them I can't announce yet, but 14.
Wow.
So.
Wow, look at you over there.
A very busy off season.
Okay.
Very busy.
That's fantastic, man. And for you to be able to have most of your roster as free agents is going to set you up. Yeah. But of course, I can't be surprised with you. I mean, because you've been around in the league a long time, and you've made those friendships, you made those bonds with people, and so I know that people have been waiting for you to get the team.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fun. Obviously you find out your friendships and who really, wants to come and who doesn't want to come over. But, but like I said, I wanted to be able to have a good mix of free agents, and I wanted to also have a good group of rookies, to come in, because this is a building franchise, right?
Exactly.
I've preached about, wanting to make this a place of learning and this and that. And so being able to have the rookies mixed in with that as well is pretty key for me and Adam.
Indeed, as it should be. And it's going to be a great time you're going to be the first team that's going to have to shape and mold their careers, and, oftentimes how you shape and mold someone's careers can dictate how they will be, whether they stay with you or move on somewhere else. So, it's a good thing. And it's also kind of like a heavy thing to think about, because you're literally the foundation.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But how excited were you when you finally got the news that you got your team, you got what you want?
I was down in a city called Evansville for work, and Cam, called me and Adam and told us the news. And I just it was odd because I was prepared for it to happen, because I had a really good feeling about it, right? I just knew I did all the work. I did the legwork. Adam had the experience. I had the experience. Our branding I thought was really solid. And it still didn't even prepare me for when Cam actually said the words, right? It was just kind of wow, this really actually happened. Because there could always be a small chance I didn't get voted in, obviously, but because your owner, I mean, he put me 10 out of 10 according to him. Just a joke, but but yeah, with he called and told us this news. Like, me and Adam both were just like, wow, like this really happened, and we couldn't be more excited. We're very happy to be here, and we've got a really excited group of people that are ready to make Rambler Nation one of the best in the SFL, and we're excited.
All right, Rambler Nation. Okay, that's a new hashtag.
Well, it's gonna be like Ramble On, Rambler Nation. Anything I can make fun of Minnesota about. Anything we can do to, we'll create some hashtags this season for sure.
So is there a particular expansion team that you are looking forward to playing? Or do you want them on your schedule? Kind of like KJ, he just calling people out. So
yeah, KJ's just calling everybody out left and right, which I respect. I respect that. But I mean, obviously, with how the divisions got shaped up, I mean, with Minnesota being in our division, it's just natural to have that rivalry now, right? I didn't really know exactly which way the league was going to go. Thought maybe they would put us and Canton together, but that didn't really work out. I thought Motor City might have been in our division as well, even though they're not an expansion team. But that didn't work out as well. But for the expansion part, Minnesota, it was kind of like the natural thing, right? I mean, Axel and Raven are great guys, and they're going to be able to build that team up really well. And I think it's going to be a really good battle in that Central Division this season.
So now that you are a new owner, was it everything that you envisioned? I mean, as far as the workload, as far as the kind of notoriety of being an owner, has it panned out so far for you the way you saw it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different, just because now it's like, I mean, I wasn't really responsible for the branding in Baltimore and in London. But here I am now, right? Me and Adam both are responsible for branding and looking for business opportunities outside of the SFL, sponsorship, stuff like that. So yeah, it's a little different. But pretty much everything else is the same, right? I knew what I was going to be walking into with owners chat. I knew what I was going to be coming into with a great group of guys, and the team building and the coaching and stuff. Once the season rolls in, it's going to be more familiar, but I'll still sprinkle in those little business opportunities here and there. So it's pretty much almost the same, pretty close.
Okay, got it. So for all the lessons that you learned from all of the teams, the organizations that you've been a part of, including Baltimore, what is the one lesson that you say that you're going to carry with you to your organization as a fan?
That's a good question. I mean, the first thing, and really the best thing I think I've carried over from that is learning how to build a culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
We want our locker room to be the best locker room in the SFL, hands down. And I think with the group that we've brought in, we're going to be able to accomplish that. We may not be able to do it right off the bat because we're still building, obviously, and getting everybody together in the same room. But once we get them guys in there, I think that everybody's going to be really excited to be in a brotherhood. And, with culture and stuff, what you learn in Baltimore, that's a team that nobody really hardly ever leaves, and people are jumping at the bit to get in there, right? There's never really much open opportunities. I mean, look at their roster now. They've almost got it full. And then London, obviously, that was a different place. The culture needed to be changed there. And you've seen what happens when you take something you learn from Baltimore, put it into a team like London, and see what happens, right? They've retained a lot of players, if anybody hasn't noticed that. A lot of, everybody thought that half of London would probably follow me. That's not the case. And that really shows what I've built there, what we've built together, myself and Liam and the rest of the front office, has really worked. And so, and that same thing is going to come to Indianapolis, right? This is a brand new locker room. And with the guys that we have in place in there, with all the stuff that I've learned from Baltimore and London, I think this is going to be one of the top organizations in the league, hands down, by the time we're setting it up.
So what, if I may ask, is that philosophy or maybe a key element? You don't have to tell me everything if it's secretive, but what do you think that is? Because it is something to say when you can go to team and still have that effect and it still be effective. That's still a practice that they are deciding to keep. So obviously it was something that worked. Would you mind sharing it?
I mean, really, and I would tell anybody this, right? I'm a senior project manager in real life, and I have to, I manage 100+ projects at a time. And so one of the things that I've learned in that role is communication is king, right? And a lot of players I've talked to outside of London, Baltimore, whatever, a lot of people talk about, man, my team didn't tell me this, or the owners didn't say this, or the coaches don't tell you this. And it's like, well, yeah, because they don't communicate, right? And it's all about communication. If you can make communication king in your locker room, everything else is going to fall in place.
Yeah.
In my mind.
I like
And
it.
so, and just like me, just like as a project manager, I mean, I try to communicate out to my clients. I try to communicate out to everybody I have to deal with IT wise and everything else. And everything else just kind of falls in line. Once you have a plan in place and everybody executes the plan, everything falls into place.
Good advice. Good advice. And it's something so simple, right?
Yeah,
Just
it's the most simple
communicate.
thing ever. And everybody takes it, and it's the simplest thing you can do, but yet the hardest thing people can do at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, what are your thoughts on this two-way contract conversation that's been going on lately?
Yeah. The two-way contract thing is interesting, right? Because I think the idea that the league had for it at the time was a really good idea, to be able to give guys opportunities if they didn't get starting roles in the SFL to get playing time in the SFLm. I totally understand where it's coming from. I can see both sides of it, to where you have, guys like Xander Moon and
Jordan
whoever
Sight
else is talking about the playing time and this and that, and guys losing opportunities. I get where that's coming from. It's not a perfect system, it's not like this is the final product of the SFLm. The Rostelli and the rest of the guys that really put a lot of work on the back end of that for the SFLm are really going to look at all that and really, even Rostelli's even said, like, hey, come to me with ideas. Like, I'm willing to listen. And I think if we can, as a community, put that together and really go in and talk to him and say, hey, this is something we see and we want to see it different, I'm pretty sure that the league will probably say, okay, let's try this and see how this works. But like I said, to answer the question, though, I can see both sides of it. I don't really have like a stance on it. I'll just stay neutral.
I understand. And, I can see it both ways as well. I mean, either way, you're deciding to pay your money to be a two-way player. You're deciding to pay your money to be a rookie. You're deciding to do this. So you're molding your career. Yeah. So whatever you decide that you want to do with the money that you're spending is on you. Like I was just explaining to Joel, this is a gentleman that you'll see on the podcast before you. It's important to try to get your money's worth because you're spending, a nice amount of money for a subscription.
Yep.
To participate in the league and the community is absolutely awesome, but you want to try to get as much as you can out of it. So try different things. If you like to write an article or two. If you like to talk, make a talk show, make a podcast. I mean, we got a lot of teams out here that love to have one. Yeah. So it's all in what you do with what you got. So hey,
exactly. I mean, and what you're paying for. I mean, just as much as I do. I mean, you're not only paying for your player to be creative and all that stuff, but you're also paying for, the value of having your player on TV and the value of all that stuff. Like everything else that comes on the outside of that. That's what you're paying for, and you're getting your money's worth, obviously. But but like I said, I understand some guys just want to have a starting role. But hey, all rookies don't just immediately come out and just start balling out, right? You got to earn your spot. You got to put in the wrench time, put in the practice sessions. So, like I said, but I understand the argument from both sides of it, and hopefully, and I believe that the league will, if there is a change that is worthy of being changed, then they'll make that change.
Yeah, definitely. But it's good to get, different thoughts and different reactions to things like that, because it may be something that you're missing, maybe something that you didn't consider. So conversation is good. Right. So last question for you, because I know you're at work. I wanted to know, what are your thoughts on your upcoming season? What is your either thoughts or some messages that you want to give to the future team that you're building?
I'm not at work, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah, remember I said I'm off. So
that's right. You did. I'm sorry, because usually every time that we talk,
Plenty of
you're always at
conversation.
work.
yeah, we can have plenty of conversation. No, I mean for the future Ramblers, is that what you want to know?
Yes.
Yeah, like I mean, all of these guys already know, exactly what the mission is, right? I mean, obviously, I could come out here and say we're going to be season 19 SFL champions, but let's be realistic a little bit, right? We're building. So with what we got going here, I mean, the number one thing is just making the culture, right? We want to build that culture up. I mean, in my mind, I mean, I think we're a playoff team with what I've got built, obviously, and with what coaching experience that myself and Adam both have. I think that's, something that can really get us in there. But obviously, it's going to be a tough division. I mean, Sioux Falls and Tulsa are both playoff teams from last season. It'll be interesting to see what they do in free agency, especially Sioux Falls, considering it sounds like GP Wells is on the move. At least he declared for free agency. So we don't know who they're going to be replacing. They could be losing some more. Tulsa could be losing some more. Who knows? Minnesota, obviously a building team. We don't know how they're being built yet, so we got to wait and see for that. But with the guys that I know we're bringing in, I like what we have going right now, and and the guys know that this is going to be a team that I hate to use Dan Campbell's words, but this is a team that's going to bite your kneecaps, quote unquote, right? Knock in your teeth. I mean, there's a reason that our stadium is called the Snake Pit. So, with what we've got going this season, with the players that we've got brought in and everything, I mean, they know the mission. I don't need to repeat it to them. They hear it all the time. And, for the rest of the league, I mean, the Ramblers are coming. We're going to be really excited about it. We're going to be a competitive team from day one. Everybody, I think, is going to be aware of that once they see the roster shape up. And we're just excited to get this thing going. We're pumped up.
Tell you what, hearing you say that, I know I'm gonna have to get my 9mm back. You know why? Because if y'all biting kneecaps, and I got, headhunters over here, and I got, 102 years of football trying to get. But we're gonna have to do something. There's a lot of it's a lot of good stuff happening right now, and it's gonna be real competitive this season, I think.
Oh, it's gonna be. The great thing about it is like, I mean, the expansion teams, if you're just taking the 4 expansion teams, for example, I mean, there's a lot of coaching experience within that, right? I mean,
yes.
Minnesota getting Bravo as a defensive coordinator. He's been around for quite some time. I mean, Canton starting to reveal their coaching staff, Mike Twinscrew and their new head coach. Chris Porter is going to be the defensive coordinator who's been linked this season for the SFLm. I mean, and you got Seattle out there. I mean, we don't really know what their staff is. All we know is Brady Clark is a defensive coordinator. I think this is his first time doing it, maybe. So, Seattle's kind of the wild card out of the 4, I think. But with Canton and Minnesota and Indy, I mean, there's really good coaching staffs in place. And Minnesota, I mean, we don't know who the head coach is per se, but with Axel,
I think it is
running the offense for Minnesota. I mean, they're all good teams. Say what?
I think it's Ethan for Seattle. I think
he's going to be the head coach.
I think until he finds someone. I think he said that.
I didn't know. I knew they hired Jalen Wells as GM and then Brady as the defensive coordinator, but I didn't know if he actually was naming himself the head coach or not. So,
if I remember the last conversation, if I remember correctly, he said that he may have to do it until he can find somebody. But even still, I'm looking at the fact that what he's done with the Lexington Miners.
Yep.
I'm looking at the fact that you do have a lot of like you said, good coaches. In this realm.
Yeah, so. There's a lot of good coaches, right? The question's going to be about if all these guys can build teams or not. That's going to be the $1 million question,
right? And if you surround yourself with the right people, ideally you should.
Exactly. I think you can, right? And I mean, myself and Adam, we've built teams. We know. I believe in our pedigree when it comes to that. Canton. KJ and Adam are new in the league, but they got Mike All, right? Mike All's one of the better
incredible.
GMs, one of the better GMs in the SFL, and so with him being able to recruit and do that, I think Canton's going to be a really strong team. You know, Minnesota obviously with BJ, you know, and Axel. I mean, I think Axel brings in a lot of people as well, just because of his show, the minor league fights and insights. You know, a lot of these younger guys see Axel and then think that, you know, he's, you know, that's a guy they want to go play with, and all right, they should. You know, he's a good dude. And then, you know, Seattle. I mean, you obviously got, you know, Ethan that's built some teams up. You know, he made some good draft picks in Houston. There wasn't much success out of those guys, you know, with making the playoffs and stuff. But I know that, you know, Houston's got a really good front office in place now with what they've got brought in. So it's going to be a really interesting season, right? It's going to be very competitive, and all. I mean, really, there's no division that's really locked down, and it's going to be a tough season for everybody.
No, and I think it's, you know, people can say, okay, Baltimore is probably going to be back at the top, because I think it depends on who has the least amount of turnovers as far as their personnel is concerned.
Yep.
And who puts together the game, who puts together the better game plan at the end of the day. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what Nights does.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see who we get to play, right? I just have a weird feeling we're going to play the North, but you know, that's fine with me. I mean, the North is a really interesting North and the West, because the North, like, it got reshaped. That Baltimore's out, right? So Baltimore and DC both moved out. You know, London is still there. Queen City's still there, along with now Canton and Motor City. The question for the North is going to be it's really just a two-headed battle. I think it's between London and Canton. And the question is going to be you know, will Canton be able to put the game plan together in order to take out London? That'll be the question. And if London, you know, I mean, I love my guys there in London. They're fantastic. But if they slip one little bit, I mean, Canton's going to be right there, chomping at the heels, I think.
Absolutely.
I think it's anybody. I think it's one of them two to win the division. I can't consider that a lock, unfortunately, for my former team. But I think Queen City and Motor City still have a ways to go before they can get there.
It's going to be,
It's going to be tough. And then the West, I mean, obviously, you know, with you know, Denver and you guys in Vegas and now San Diego. I mean, that's just a really interesting division. You know, with you guys, I mean, now you got Weston and Owens, you know, building up. You know, obviously with some free agents, I think you guys might be getting. You know, it's going to be tough, right? Denver obviously losing Adam to us. You know, the question is who coaches that team, right? If Vegas coaching, then then it's going to be really tough.
You know, that's the first thing I thought about. As soon as I saw, I was like, "Oh, here we go." Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he might. I doubt he comes back. I don't think he's going to do that. But and then Vegas obviously still building up. I mean, they're going to be a tough team. And in San Diego, you know, are still the same San Diego. I mean, they started hot, didn't really finish well, but I think they have a pretty good shot at finishing decent. So it's those three divisions. I think ours, the North and the West, are really kind of wide open toss up divisions.
Why do you think Cam made the divisions the way that he did? Why do you think he decided to shake him up, in your opinion?
I mean, I don't know. The Central was always going to be the toughest one, because you know, when I was going through kind of predicting where I thought they would fall, I figured if Minnesota ended up in the division, then Sioux Falls would end up in the division. I always assumed it would be Indy and Tulsa, just because it's kind of like Tulsa's kind of out there in no man's land compared to everybody else, and Indy's kind of now a little more further over than most. So, you know, I always assumed it'd be Indy and Tulsa. I was hoping that Motor City would be in it, because of the fact that me and Colin actually had an agreement in place about having an actual trophy being passed back and forth between myself and Colin for the win every year.
I love that.
Motor City played Indy, because I knew they were rebranding. I knew they were going to be, you know, probably going with a motor theme, I imagine, because it is the Motor City. But you know, with I was hoping that would happen. That didn't happen, but that's fine. I thought maybe Canton, just because Canton is kind of close to Indy, but at the same time, it's Northeast Ohio, so probably more in the north, which made sense. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I can't worry about who's in what division or whatever. I just got to go out there and win ours. So
Damn straight. That's it.
that's all you can do.
Put your wins in your column. That's all you got to worry about at the end.
But I mean, we have like 5 hours until free agency officially opens. It's going to be absolutely madness. I can't wait to see where everybody goes.
Me too.
And I can't wait to do our show tonight to announce all of our free agent signings.
Hey, you know what? I wish you the best of luck this season, Chad. You know, if you playing us, you know, not too much.
I know how that goes. I mean, I can only beat you guys in a regular season. I can't beat you in the playoffs, apparently. So,
well, I guess I'd rather take the L during the regular season then.
true. I mean, if I'm you, I'd rather take the L in the regular season, not in the playoffs.
If I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah, true. I mean,
but yeah, we got some really good free agents coming. I'm really excited about who we have coming. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. And I think that those were the pieces that are going to definitely help replace those major pieces that we lost in Joey Tropicana, and players like that. So I don't want to say too much because I don't want to risk,
Yeah, you don't want to avoid anything. Yeah.
Okay, Lord have mercy. That's all it takes, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, looking forward to seeing what happens. Of course, you have a spot on my show anytime you want to, Chad. Just let me know when you want to come on. You know, I got you.
I know.
And I'm looking forward to having many more conversations with you. So
definitely.
You in Minnesota going at it, huh? I'm just curious to know what Axel thinks about that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he has to know it's coming. Right? Like, I mean, what was it? Like their hashtag was get stomped. And so I made some comment about, that's all they're going to be doing is getting stomped. Then they came back with something about a hashtag check engine light or something. I can't remember what it was. Then I'm basically, I don't think they're called the Legend. I think they're called the Minnesota Harry and the Hendersons.
Hey, that was a great show.
It was a great movie. I mean, I don't know if the legends are true or not, right? Because I mean, the only person I've ever seen that's seen him is John Lithgow. So, I just, I just think it's Axel in a suit. I think that's all it is. I think it's just Axel in a suit.
Yeah. See, this is why I got to get my non-millimeters. I did forget about that. Yeah, they got Saquashes and
we got Sasquatch. You just start,
it's too much.
Knocking and whistling and all this stuff, trying to lure a Sasquatch out. I heard that they'll come out for beef jerky, but I'm not 100% sure on it. So that's just rumors I've heard. I don't know if that's true.
Well, we gonna find out.
I mean, they know it's all fun.
Exactly.
We want to make it a really great rivalry, and I think we're going to be able to accomplish that. I mean, BJ likes to talk more than anybody, I think, sometimes. So, it's going to be a blast. I'm really looking forward to it. I can only imagine probably that it will probably be a convention game. I would assume.
Yes.
The back and
forth.
I
would hope so. Oh,
it's in a division. I can see it easily. What sucks is I won't be able to be there for it, but. I know I got some Ramblers that are going to be repping there, so we'll still be represented very well at the convention.
Beautiful, and that's all that matters. You're going to represent it. I want to know if they could even do maybe like a Zoom call. Maybe we can have somebody set up like their laptop. Maybe I'll set my laptop up like with like a Zoom station.
Yeah.
So if anybody wanted to just say hi to everybody, they can just come.
Yeah, that's probably. I mean, I could see Cam doing something like that.
Exactly, something like that. So, but all right, I'm looking forward to catching up with you very soon, Chad. Go ahead and get your free agents, your free agent show together, brother.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. Rambler Nation, they know what's coming. They're all excited. They're chomping at the bit. They wish they could be talked about now, but they're ready to go. They're ready to stomp on some guys dressed up in gorilla suits. So,
shots fired.
Looking forward to it. Harry and the Hendersons. I mean, I can see it happening. So,
Totally dope, man. I'll see you soon, Chad.
All right, see you later.
All right, bye.
And that's it. SFL Nation, thank you so much for joining Diggy and I this evening. I really appreciate it. Again, thanks to Joel and for Axel and Chad coming out. And Diggy, of course, every week, you're always here for me. I really appreciate it. But Jordan Sight actually hit me up on Twitter and was like, hey, he'd like to kind of join the team too. What do you think about that?
Bring him on. I'd like to see something, Crunch Time does a good job of the interviews and mixing stuff in. The first episode, I kind of wasn't too sure about it, especially being something new, but they've really figured everything out. Mm-hmm. And I'm really hoping the SFL can get something together kind of like NFL Network, where you've got, 3 or 4 people there discussing stuff and kind of, have like an hour show like that with the stuff. More of a real life type feel to it, Lone Star does a great job on their show,
Mm-hmm.
and you do a good job here, and Crunch Time and Eddie Gage, they all do great. Crunch Time I think is the closest thing we have to it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like to see something just that next step up.
And who knows?
So yeah, if he wants to
talent,
come on, bring him on. Yeah.
All this wonderful talent that's in the league, all these new rookies that are joining us that have all of these skills. Who knows? Maybe we could actually put together something like that. The future is big and bright for the SFL, and I know I'm happy to be a part of it. I believe you're happy to be a part of it. So
yeah, and with the new contracts we're constantly seeing, the TV contracts and all this possibilities with Canton and all that. I'm excited to see what all that brings in. So now that we're kind of even more noticed to that extent with what Christian Alexio and them have been able to work out there with the Football Hall of Fame and everything, I think it could really be something, really take off and get us to the next level that a lot of these simulation football teams or football leagues have been trying to achieve, and to be part of one that's looking like it's going to be the first to make that step, feels good. It's exciting. So
it does.
Like you said, I'm ready to see what the future holds, and I think it's going to be really big
and bright, and things are going to be happening very soon. It's going to be some announcements coming down the pipeline that y'all going to really be excited about. So can't wait for y'all to know it. And it's going to be a step in the right direction. But thank y'all so much again for tuning in. Looking forward to bringing you another great podcast next week. But until then, y'all, stay safe, treat each other well. Diggy and Striker out.
All of that.
Random people just coming over here and stopping. Like, what the hell is going on? Yes. Okay.
They knew I was on the show. They wanted to come and stop. And
clearly, what you were saying was captivating at that moment. 'Cause she just stopped and just. Okay.
I have that effect.
Exactly.
Is being in the SFLm championship a curse? Have you thought about that? All right, because
no.
Look. Whether you win or lose, it doesn't seem like it bodes well for anybody who plays in that game. Season 1, the Lynx won versus Ottawa, and the next season went 4-4. Ottawa went 4-4. Season 2, the Adams won versus Birmingham. Okay.
Right.
They had the next season had a great record. It's the only exception in this whole example. 8-2, but they lost in the playoffs. Okay, that's the only good thing out of this whole thing. And then Birmingham went 1-7 the next Season 3, Salt Lake City won versus the San Jose Flight. The next season, Salt Lake City went 3-5, and San Jose went 3-5. And then season 4, the Lynx won versus Lexington. And as of now, the Lynx are 0-6, and Lexington's only 3-3. So it's something to think about. Is there an SFL curse for the championship?
We got the Madden curse over here.
Oh yeah, and you know the two-time champs with Madison are in uncharted territory, having their worst record in franchise history. Even if they win the last 2 games of the season, they can only max out at 2-6 and miss the playoffs. So they run the risk now of truly going from first to worst if they lose out and becoming the first team in SFLm to go 0-8.
Bro.
Season 1 was San Jose 2-6. Season 2 was San Jose 1-7. Birmingham went 1-7 and ended up leaving. Then you have season 4, Ottawa went 1-7. So this whole season's been ridiculous. San Jose 6-0. There's 6 teams that are 3-3, and Madison's not won anything. So it's close. 2 weeks left. Everybody has to make the best of it.
Indeed. But that is some amazing work, Diggy. I mean, as far as you bringing that up, because I never really noticed that before until you mentioned it. And now you're going to have people apprehensive about winning the You know what? Yeah, I want to be a contender. I don't think I want to win. I'm just messing with you. But that's a good point to bring up. That was dope.
Just have a good regular season, and then just don't worry about the playoffs.
Don't even worry about it. Just worry about get drafted.
But yeah, I wanted to bring that one up. SFLm curse, championship curse.
Good stuff, man. And that's why I appreciate you being on the show. But the stuff that I miss, you got my back, bro. I appreciate it.
All right, let's see. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see. Log in. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, God dang it. Hang on.
It's okay.
My day is just not going what I thought it would. Let's see here.
It'll get better from here, I promise.
Yeah, I hope.
It will.
Let's see. Okay. I swear I'm going to get this done. I thought I already had it ready, but apparently it's not. Come on. Come on. Come on, buddy.
Don't worry, I got people out here driving around with bad brakes, so it's probably good that we're not recording.
Oh, there you go.
I'm surprised you don't hear it.
I don't hear it at all. Let's see there. Okay.
Blessings.
Save. There we go. Okay. So let's see. This will be. Do I already have it? And I just don't know. Dude, don't be like that today. Do not be like that. Because it would totally make sense. I swear. It's too early. Like, it's too early in the morning. Like,
well, we was gonna dance later. There you go. That's what you're trying
finally. This is what I've been trying to do the whole time. God, man, because I don't want that background of the pegboard. So, God, that's all I've been trying to do for like 5 minutes. And the stupid thing is I had it already on my desktop. I just didn't know what the file was called. God, man. What a day. Can we just start all over the day? Like, I just
Just go home, go to sleep, wake up again.
Jeez.
I promise you, if that is the worst part of your day, it's gonna be up from here.
Then I'll be okay. Yeah. Hey.
Oh man. But
So how's it going?
It's going pretty good, man. Going pretty good.
Yeah.
Excited about free agency. Excited about where to see where people are gonna land, and it's gonna be an interesting week.
I've got so many people just chomping at the bit to get announced, and Oh man, what's funny is I'm trying to do all this prep work for tonight because we're gonna announce everybody tonight.
Mhm.
And so I'm trying to because I was gonna do the show tomorrow, but nobody wanted to do tomorrow. So I got everybody wanting to do it tonight because they can't wait any longer. They don't want to. I'm like, well, I get it. So I'm trying to do all this stuff in OBS. I'm trying to get screenshots of everything, give it to people so they can make the graphics. It's just rough day.
That's all right.
It's all right.
It's a promise. It's gonna be good.
That's why I took the whole week off of work.
Okay. So
Yeah, I
you
took the whole week off. I was just like, screw it. I'm gonna take this week off and just get all this stuff figured out and done. So
that's dedication. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. You do know that's being recorded, right? You gonna leave that out?
That's fine. They can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Plus my my vacation resets every June, in the middle of June.
Oh, well then you're straight.
And I had over 120 hours I needed to burn. I could only carry 40 of it. So I was like, yeah, I got to burn some time anyway. So.
Well, time spent wisely.
Yeah.
Definitely needed.
Yep.
All right then. Well, we're gonna be officially recording in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Had some teams sell for money, but I think it could really blow up into actual jobs for some people. You know, if it keeps rolling the way it's rolling, you know, I think it could really open up possibilities for people like you or some of the other broadcast people to actually get a show or something like that. You know, there's big possibilities with it. So.
I've often said, if I could make this my job where I'm literally legit making a living off this, I would. Because, I believe in the product and I know what it does for others as well as myself, but this is fun for me. This would be considered a career that you can grow old with, you know what I mean? I can cut highlights and do podcasts and try to promote and everything like that, marketing. I do marketing in my real life anyway. So if I could turn this into a real gig, this would be great. And I know a lot of people feel that way because we spend so much time here anyway. Coaches, spend hours and hours on end just trying to get these playbooks together. Even when you're taking the time out to research, and be on these shows and kind of put yourself out there like that, you should get compensated for your time. I think we do a really good job with the bartering system that we do have now, just hey, you come help me out, I can help you out whenever you got going on, so. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from here.
Oh yeah.
You can be selected for one particular position that you didn't have. That was what you started. For me, I was going to be a wide receiver at defensive end, and then Tulsa offered me the opportunity to be the quarterback, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm a little nervous about that because when the game is on, when you're winning, everybody loves you. But when you throw those interceptions, and it's in the red zone, and you got only minutes.
Oh yeah.
It's a joy either way. You gotta have the strength, the tough skin, and be able to deal with it. So.
Oh yeah, and you have to take the good ones with the bad ones. But
Indeed.
It's just kind of like everything.
Right. So tell us about your racing career a little bit.
Well, it's all been it's all amateur stuff. I've started in a form of racing called autocross, where you take a old airport or a big parking lot and you make a track out of cones and run through it for best time. And then you there's different classes for the cars and all that to try to keep similar cars together. That's a lot of fun. It's you place all of the cones, the obstacles, you stack them close enough together to where you're always kind of doing something. And as you progress into faster cars, then the obstacles come on you quicker. So you have to have quicker reaction time to be able to drive the quicker cars. And the current car for that is what's called a Formula Ford. It's a Indy car without the wings on it, basically.
Okay.
It's weighs about 900 pounds without me in it, and it's just quick. It's better than the driver currently.
Wow, that's amazing. I don't know if I can go that fast. Like I like driving my car racing games, iRacing. Oh yeah, because I'm safe. But for me to go out there and actually do that, I don't know. And not pass out, I don't know. I don't know about that. But kudos to you guys for doing that. That's some awesome stuff. I find that interesting.
Yeah, the iRacing is a lot of fun too. It's a good way to keep the skills up in the winter.
Definitely. I had my first taste of it when I went to the convention and we went to Mike St. Green's house. If you haven't met Mike St. Green, you will, trust me. But it was an amazing experience because he had the whole setup and everything. And I didn't do too bad. I didn't do too good, but I didn't do too bad either. So. That's it.
All righty.
All right. Thank you so much, Joel. I really appreciate you for your time and everything. And I was serious. Whenever you want to share some news with us or anything like that, I'll be happy to have you back on.
Okay, cool.
All right. You be safe out there. And this show will be out Thursday.
Okay.
All right. If you have any more questions or you need any help with anything, progressions, any advice, I'll give you all of the knowledge that I can give.
I appreciate that a lot because having many people to ask is always better than trying to figure it out yourself. Because
yeah,
I mean, I'm about 4 or 5 games into this.
Right. And it could be a little daunting when you first come in. I mean, I know we have to get a starting page and everything like that, but some people are hands-on, some people are kind of like textbook, so it just depends on you. But like for me, I like to kind of get in and just talk to people and see how it works from their perspective and then kind of draw my own conclusions from that. So, but yeah, it could be a little much, but yeah, you have a lot of people that's going to have your back here, Joel. So just don't be afraid to reach out to anybody.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you soon.
All righty. Thank you.
You're very welcome, dear. Have a good one.
All righty.